and I'm humbled by the trust and confidence you placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify.
A night of victory and history for Joe Biden, and now a call for unity in a country bitterly divided and plagued by a deadly pandemic and painful recession.
But President Trump not yet conceding. In fact, he's insisting he won the election and claims, with no evidence, the vote count was illegal. And good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Ritter, along with Sade Badenois and Joe Torres for this special edition of Eyewitness News at 11 for this history-making Saturday night.
Lots of new developments to tell you about tonight. First, the Electoral College, Pennsylvania, putting Mr. Biden over the top. 279 electoral votes for him, 214 for President Trump. Still counting Alaska, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina.
Here are the vote totals. More than 74 million votes for Mr. Biden. Slightly more than 70 million votes for Trump. Behind in the popular vote so far by nearly 4.2 million is Mr. Trump, a record number of votes in a presidential election and still climbing. The president, however, not yet reaching out to Mr. Biden.
President Trump tonight tweeting 71 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president. He did mention that Mr. Biden had millions more. And
this spontaneous Biden family hug taken by the president-elect's granddaughter, Naomi, named after his daughter, who was killed as a child in a car accident.
And lots of celebrations in New York City today. This was in Times Square. Not exactly social distancing and not the kind of celebration they'll allow on New Year's Eve. And also celebrations in Washington Square Park earlier today. And to celebrate the end of this election drama, the Empire State Building in red, white, and blue. Joe Torres kicks off our coverage with the president-elect's call for unity tonight. Joe.
Bill and Sade, the third time was the charm. After two unsuccessful runs for the White House, Joe Biden today rode the Electoral College votes of Pennsylvania to the hallowed halls of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. During a nationally televised speech tonight, he vowed to restore decency and win the confidence of Americans. But a deeply divided voting public and a president reluctant to leave the Oval Office may make those goals even more challenging than the presidential campaign.
The president-elect of the United States tonight spoke to a nation divided. In his first nationally televised address, watched by millions across the country and across the globe, Joe Biden laid out the pathway forward.
It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again.
After 4 days of poll watching and ballot counting, the 77-year-old won the presidential race late this morning when a victory in Pennsylvania put him over the Electoral College threshold of 270 votes. ABC, along with the other major networks, declared him the winner and our nation's next commander-in-chief.
Americans have called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, to marshal the forces of science and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time.
We did it. We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
Biden's groundbreaking victory means an historic achievement for his running mate. Senator Kamala Harris becomes the first woman and first woman of color to serve as vice president.
And what a testament it is to Joe's character, that he had the audacity to break one of the most substantial barriers that exists in our country and select a woman as his vice president.
74 million people cast a ballot for Biden, the highest number ever. More than 70 million voted for President Trump, the most ever for a sitting president. While those numbers highlight the political polarization of the voting public, some Republicans said it's time for reconciliation. Former presidential candidate Jeb Bush tweeted congratulations to Mr. Biden and said, "Now is the time to heal deep wounds. Many are counting on you to lead the way." Utah Senator Mitt Romney, who lost to President Obama 8 years ago, also posted about the winning ticket. He wrote, "We know them both as people of goodwill and admirable character." Democratic Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey has served alongside Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He says the new administration will need to tackle the coronavirus pandemic beginning on day one.
We can never get our economy back and our way of life back until we can be pretty assured that our trip to the store, to the restaurant, to the public square, in terms of risk of COVID has been mitigated.
And consider this. Joe Biden's rise to the White House comes 48 years to the day he was first elected to the U.S. Senate. And many believe he will need those decades of political experience to lead the most powerful country in the world, a country yearning for unity, civility, and healing.